Hi there, it's Laurie at Positive Thanks Living, and it's January. Happy New Year 2026. Wow, we're here, whether we're ready for it or not. I am going to do a junk journal January, and to make it more complicated for myself, I'm going to do it with two different groups. One is from Ink and Pages, and this is their prompt list. The other is from Junk Journal January UK, and I'm going to list the description of everything in the first comment and also in the description. Okay, so here's the two. Why am I doing two? I found Junk Journal January through a Be Happy Stationery first, and I really liked their prompts. Intentions, slow, cozy, frosted, simple, nest. That worked for my imagination. And I just found out this from Ink and Pages. Again, I'll link in the first comment and the description. And these are their prompts, and they're more specific about what you're using. Open, script, postcard, ticket, invoice. You get the idea. I have been exploring a new printer. Our old one is wonderful. It's just the best. And but it's been giving me grief. You know, sometimes you get an error message and then you can't print. And so my husband and I decided I would do the research for what kind of printer would be best for junk journaling. And in the meantime, we would get just a comparatively inexpensive printer, which we did. A Canon. Again, they're both Canon. But this one is less expensive. It's the Pixma. Well, boy, oh boy, have I been frustrated. I'll show you my solution for my frustration. This is the old printer, this is the new printer. When I print, everything appears orange, or the difference, or pink, or, oh boy. I've even gone into the, where the print driver is in your computer and played with bumping up the color combinations. My frustration level was so high. See, look, it's pink. This is exactly the same. This is exactly the same. And then the new one would all of a sudden decide to print out a black and white for me, or a gray tone. Frustrated? Yes. Deeply. In comparative to the difficulties people are going through, of course, this is just silliness, because if a color is a color, it's a color. Yeah, nobody's health and welfare is impacted, except possibly mine and my husband's, because I'm totally frustrated. I've gone back to my old printer, and I have printed out as much as I can, and I'm going to make a journal for Junk Journal January with these two sets of prompts. This is the old printer. These are the papers from. Okay, so this is the old printer. Or, I'm sorry, this is the new printer. This is the old printer. I don't know if it shows up differently on your screen or not. Okay, enough about printers. I'm going to do Junk Journal January with 2 sets of prompts. On a day, I'll use both prompts. I'm going to make the cover out of this book cover. This was a book that was on my mother's desk all my growing up years. So I'm going to use some gesso, I'm going to use some modeling paste, and this was our Christmas napkin. Obviously not overtly Christmas, and I'm going to do something with it on the cover and on the pages. This is the ribbon that I have in our dining area, the trees. I thought, okay, let's keep on going with the winter theme. Now, to solve some of my issues, creatively speaking, with the new printer, count how many times I say printer in this video, it's silly. I decided that I would just use very inexpensive Amazon watercolors, oh gosh, and paint my papers. These are tea-dyed papers I did a very long time ago, and I want to use them up. Using things up is important, along with all the things that I printed, whichever printer paper. Yeah, see, I said printer again. I'm going to use just inexpensive watercolors to shade the papers that I have, and so that they'll also fit, because I like blue, and there's really not a lot of blue in the Junk Journal January UK. So this way, you see, I can make them match. I can do something to the back of those pages that I want to use. In addition, I can change the hue of the tea-dye paper. You can see it's not complicated. I take a fan brush and I do a little of this and I do a little of that, and we'll see how it turns out. We'll both be surprised at the end just to see how it works for us. And yeah, so that is the plan at this moment. I like this ribbon. It reminds me of burlap, and I'll incorporate this ribbon. The other idea that I have, someone so kindly gifted me a Cricut maker, and thanks Renee, and I'm going to have the images from this is the Junk Journal January UK, and it's a collaboration with Be Happy Stationery and Crafting Dragon Designs. She did the digitals, and I'm going to have her digitals peeking out from behind window shapes that I cut out on the Cricut. Yeah, that's the plan. We'll see how it goes. Complicated? Yes. Is that a good idea? No. But oh well, I guess that's just the way it goes. So gesso here, and some modeling paste. I have light and fluffy modeling paste through. I'm going to make it look like snow on the cover and on the pages, and we'll see where this goes. Shall I show you very quickly? I mean, you can imagine what it's like, but very quickly. what it doing a painting on paper and then on a digital would look like. I have a cup of water here. Water and paper is not a good combination, but hey, we're living dangerously today. All right, so this was another attempt. And the colors that I'm using, the watercolors, again, they're extremely inexpensive. I bought a set for our grandchildren, and I decided that I would buy a set for me here at home so that when they came to visit, I had something for them to play with. I'm turning my head away if the sound, because I'm looking for the lid. Okay. And a fan brush obviously is not precise. I'm putting my colors in here. And I'm just putting on a little bit of the brown, and I'm going to put a little bit of the blue. And anyone who is a watercolorist, a person that colors actually paints, don't cringe. I am not yet someone who is a watercolor specialist. There's a good chance I will never become a watercolor specialist. So this will add a little bit of blue, and let's go this way. The back of the page, let's do this. It'll also work for that. The paper that I'm using, this is Hammermill. I'll link below to this paper. With my old printer, again, I loved this paper. It worked so well. With the new, less expensive printer, it does not. So I don't even want to try printing double sides. When this paper becomes wet, it changes texture. I'm going to show you this here. This is the one that I did. It's very smooth and slick with printing regularly. Smooth and slick. As soon as you add water to it, it soaks in the water. So I guess it soaks in the ink too. And it changes texture. So I'm going to be ironing the pages because they buckle as they get wet, which isn't a problem. I mean, I just turn a video on from YouTube and yeah, iron paper. So I'm going to play with the digitals. It may be a complete and utter mistake. It might work. Who knows? And the tea dye paper, well, I did this about almost 5 years ago. Yeah, I've been making videos about junk journaling on YouTube for 5 years. In April was the first. I've been junk journaling much longer than that, but the first video I did was 5 years ago in April. So this is when I did this paper. we were living in an apartment. We moved out of our RV because we were traveling full-time for 5 years prior to that. And I had a less than optimal oven. And so I tried my first hand at tea dyeing paper and then drying it in the oven. That was interesting. So I'm using up 5-year-old paper that I haven't. So I have some left from that experience, and that's what's going to go into this journal also. You can see the difference. This one here was a graph paper, and the blue of the graph paper leached out in the water. I dried it on a rack, and it took on the coloring of the marks of the rack. That was an interesting time doing those papers. Junk Journal January, this is it. One way or another. Using 2 different sets of prompts from 2 different creators, using 2 different sets of digitals, and adding some watercolor because, hey, let's make it more complicated. I look forward to being with you again soon. I make videos on Tuesdays and Fridays. And yeah, watch January as it unfolds. I look forward to spending time with you. Take care. It's Lori at Positive Thanks Living. Happy January. Let's make 2026 a good year.